Alright, this tutorial is going to go over how to make these little marble magnets out of alcohol ink paintings. And I have a glare above, which is that line, that's my light above. But they really are super pretty. And it's just using an alcohol ink painting. I started out doing this with paintings that kind of like half of it turned out cool and the other half was dumb looking, so I would cut them up and make magnets out of them. So that's kind of where this started from, and I'm going to show you the process for it. So first let me show you the supplies I have. Alright, number one, you'll want a painting that you are willing to part with, because we're going to completely destroy the whole of this, but we're going to make a million little tiny paintings. You'll need a 1-inch hole punch, a paper punch, circle punch. You can get this at Michael's, Joann's. It's about $10 for that. And these, they're little glass domes in 1 inch. They are available on Amazon. They have a name. It's like, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I'll embarrass myself, but I will put a link for the ones I got. I got a bag of 120, 150 for like $12 to $15. So they're pretty inexpensive. And you'll want magnets. So I got this whole big huge box. Again, fairly inexpensive for a whole bunch of them. They look like this, and these are super high powered, super strong. So these are like my go-to magnets on my fridge because they hold up thick papers. You can put a couple papers up with them. So these are my magnets of choice. So I love having these. Any ones that don't turn out quite right, I'll keep for me. Another thing you can do with the same is you can get these pendants, and these will fit right in there. So I have a couple of those that I've made. Oh, there we go. So those turn out pretty cool as well. And these are also available on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description as well for all of the supplies. Also, I use E6000 glue, which is relatively inexpensive, and so that's what we use to adhere everything. So really what you're going to do is take your painting. Now I ran out of Yupo paper, so this is really a piece of paper that has been laminated so that I have the non-porous surface. So I'm going to cut off the edges. Then we're going to go around. We can get a whole lot of circles out of this, but I try and get visually appealing circles. So I'm going to take my hole punch upside down and just line it up. And I try to take like these little veins and get them, make sure I focus, get them, and I kind of go with the rule of thirds. So I try and get them to kind of go across at the 1/3 or 2/3 mark, if that makes sense. Look up the rule of thirds if I'm not the best to explain it, but I just try not to centralize it, and I try and get them to kind of go horizontal. And then if it doesn't want to cut, you might have to lay it upside down to cut, but then you get this circle, and that is what we will use. Now as you're going, you're going to get to a point where, like, I'll do like a whole line of circles, but then I want to get into the inner part. So then I just take the scissors and cut that off, and that's waste. So let me just keep going. Some of them just pop right, and then others fight you. So Like here, I kind of want that in there, but I'm also dealing with the edge too. I would rather have it like coming up more, but that's fine. And then like right here, this isn't very, there isn't a lot going on there. The veining is towards the bottom. I'm just going to skip this part. This little part is kind of a dead zone to me. Like it's just not that cool, not that good looking. So, but over here, I really like that. So I'm going to grab that. And then here I have more veining, so let's grab that. That one's going to require an upside down. Okay, for time's sake, I am going to show you how I cut into it too. So like you see here, I've gotten a couple here, but I want to get like into here, and I don't want this part. So I'm just going to cut that out. And just go right in. And then I'm going to cut up here. And if I wanted to, I could still use this part to make a circle, but you see it's just not going to be that extra like I would like it to be. It's a cool little swirl, but it's not big enough. So now I can get into this gold part. So but here we go. It's a really cool one. And of course it doesn't want to punch. So there's that. So you just make your way around the paper, get as many as you can, and then we'll come back for the process. Okay, so we have all of our circles cut out. So next we're going to take our E6000, and if you have a respirator, I'd wear that. This is really, the smell is potent, and it says possible cancer agent, so I wear one when I'm using it just because it gives me a headache. But I'm not wearing one obviously right now so that I can record. So I'm going to take the glass bead and just give it a dab in the middle. You'll kind of get used to how much you need. You want to make sure you have enough so that it can spread over the whole surface. So I have that, and then here I have my circle. It's on my work surface, and definitely protect your work surface, by the way, because this stuff is like permanent. And I'm just going to take and drop it right on top, and you can see there's like a circle, and as you apply pressure, I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the way, it just spreads that glue across the surface. And once you hit the edge, then stop. And there you go. Now this, let me zoom back out. Now this is definitely takes a while to cure. This is movable for quite a while. It's not like hot glue where it sets up pretty quickly. So you can move it around and kind of get it straightened out. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it upside down on the work surface for a little bit, and just to kind of let it, anything that's going to ooze out. So then let's do this one. Same thing, you're going to give a less generous amount to the bottom here because this is just to glue the paper onto there. And I am going to do this one, I decided. And these fit, no, I'm not doing that one because there's a, let's do this one. Alright, these fit just a little tight in here, which is fine because you can tuck them under that lip so you know they'll stay. So I'm just using my nail to tuck it under there, trying not to gouge any of the ink off from the paper. So there we go. Oh, There we go. And now we're going to use the same process with the marble. And I'm going to give a little bit more just to make sure that it covers the whole surface. With these, it's a little more obvious too if it doesn't completely spread out underneath. So then I'm going to drop it and apply pressure. And also with these, I noticed that they have more of a tendency to like separate from the paper underneath. So I just take this clip from the Dollar Tree and just hold it on there, and there will be glue that oozes out. So I take these alcohol wipes. You can just use alcohol on whatever, and wipe it up while it's still wet. The idea is to find the perfect amount of E6000 so it won't ooze out, but I've yet to find it on these, on the pendants. With the magnets it's fine because it's on the back. And you can just take that off afterwards. If you do get an oozy, you can take, or an oozer, you can take it off with an X-Acto knife. These are a little bit harder, but you can definitely chip some off later. Okay. So there you have it. There is the pendant. And I'm going to leave this on because you can see like right here, it's already starting to separate. So I'm going to leave that on until it's cured. So I think cure time is like an hour, but I always give it 24 hours. Okay, so once it's cured, then you want to apply the magnet to the back. And it's the same process. You can take, I always take it to the back of the magnet. Give it a little bit smaller of a glob because we have less surface to cover. And try and center it. And then let that sit. Let that set for like 24 hours to make sure that it's set. If you put these like on a fridge too soon, it'll slowly like droop and fall off. So definitely give it time to set. So that's it. That's how you make the magnets.